Before we start this, the new Superman movie, which we will see a completely new story about any movie, and Henshaw, as well as the first appearance of the dog outside, Crepurto, Henshaw, monsters and obese beings, in the face of Superman, and we will see the heroes of the very external. Follow with us the whole summary to know the sequence. And if we like to summarize all Superman films we said below, comment. You do not forget to make a subscription to the channel, and try to deliver this video for 5 likes to encourage us to download videos more time, and the Almighty remains the movie. Our movie begins in the Southern Books. Suddenly, Ben Shuf Superman is after a difficult battle, because it is. He tried to prevent a military occupation from a country called Barovia against a second country called Gorper, and Bacon Pain has a short hit, and he could not move his body. And we see him while he is yellowing the dog with his length of his bacons. The land is known as the Castle of Isolation, and it will not be opened except with the presence of Superman only, and indeed the door opens and can enter. And the hour of the robots that are in the place runs on a super preventing to help Mbishila to take him to treat him. And they also occupy a message from the real people of the 2 people who remain from Cabot Kryben. And the message is that it is his father and mother who say that they love him very much. And they sold the planet to be out of the destiny that their planet has taken over. And that it is the only hope. But suddenly, it is recorded. And we know that the rest of the message was lost while on its way. The planet is the robots. They know that its body contains 4 broken very many and they start exposing the sun to be treated. And we know that it takes its energy from the sun. And it is possible that it treats it at the same time from any damage, and indeed it returns from the second to its strength. But the robots say that he recovered with the percentage of time in the water, and that it is supposed to rest. But he refuses and says that he must return to his battle again. And he actually hit her and moves in the direction of the battle. And on the second side, we see one of the converted people, and we know that her name is Angela and is going to spin on Superman, but it is not able to determine his place, but suddenly by seeing it is in front of her, and her leader was broken, he returned again to the battle, and then we see a strange being, and his name is Hamer Brea, and it is preferable to ruin in all of the city, and we know that this was the one who was in the battle with the estimation that it is overcome, as we have seen in the first, and we will go after it alone. And we know that he hated very much, and that he is the one who did this object in particular to fight Superman. He arrived from again and enters into a battle with Hamer, and we take Balna that Loser Bacon is the ruler of Hamer during the battle through codes that follow him to strike certain strikes, and Hamer remains surprising on Superman, and it is estimated that he will be saved and drew very strongly towards the earth. To some extent, Hummer is able to make him program to expect every movement of Superman, and can be saved with ease. And then we go to Superman, who will be a goal in the lone, and with one of the one who stands standing at trying to help him, and says that he helped them a lot before that. You need you time to help him, and when he tries to stop again, so that he can return to the battle, and all people will remain sympathetic to him, and take us. The one who remains, his name is Malik, and then he was brought to him. And you know that she knew the place of the isolation castle, and when she approached her, she fully disappeared under the ground. It is that it returns to it. Then we see Hummer reached a military base, and we enter from it in a gate that returned to the main headquarters of Al Wazer, and everyone welcomes him. They remain very happy with it. On the second day, we see Clarko, which is Superman. It is in his way for his work is normal, and we know that he is a journalistic work, and his entry into the company, the damages of what he did in the city, and we know that Clark is the one who writes the article after his battle with him. And after what he enters his work, his boys call from his mother and his father to adopt, so that he can think of the article he wrote, because it is. The trend and the title of newspapers. And after that, I went to his girlfriend Liu's, and you start asking him about Hummer and what he does in the city. And Jimmy believes you from because of the ruin that he did. A million and on Bishova TV, the head of the state of Bravia, who will be fanatic because his country was a good relationship with America and no one would enter into. The second, to some extent, J Superman and prevented their body to the state of Zaramber. On the other side, we see Locke, a complex of the most important people in the state, the faces of the army, the heavy and its soldiers will review, Hamel Costume, and Agella, and also a group of robots, and their name remains the Rituals, and he tries to persuade them that they invest in them, and he is trying to distort Sura Superman before them and tell them that he is a danger to the planet entire, but they will offer him. They know that Superman saved them a lot before, and he has great popularity for people. Despite that, it remains a designer that Superman is dangerous to them, all of them, and we go after that. When she arrives at her home, she is surprised by the presence of Clark there, and they began to speak more about Hamer and the devastation that causes it. Blake, he asks her that she works with him a press interview and records it with his voice in order to publish it for people, and indeed an agreement, and start asking about the media attack that has this period, and they say that the actions, and the U.S. Secretary of Defense opens an investigation into Baravia, heard, and he says to her that he traveled for Gorber during the invasion of Bravia, and estimated to stop the war without victims, and met the president of Bravia in this. If he tried, he will spin Rambo again. He and his army will be saved on him. And then he completes his words. And he tells her that he feels that the government of Bravia has intentions not good. Let him ask him that he asked permission before he entered the airspace of them. So he said to her that he entered himself because he had seen that the lives of many people were in danger, and he had to help them. But she said to him that because of the one who did his work, there was a great high attack from the people on the communication sites, and that all people started talking about him and doubting his actions because he is an alien and does not belong to them. So your class is fanatic and says to her, if it is not interested in the speech, any limit, and the most important thing is that he saves the lives of the people who would die, and then I will guide and tell her that his family is longer here, and he is a young child after their planet was destroyed to grow up and serve humanity, and it helps that the land is better, and that it is really trying to implement their message. But by saying that in a large part of the people, you doubt that it is here the invasion and the earth, and that it is not purpose to protect people. As he says, so Clarky is fanatic of his words and decides that he ends the interview, as the Lewis is tied to him. And you say that it is not that you will be completed in his relationship with him. For the Southern books, so that they enter the castle isolation, and try to throw any evidence of Superman to distort its image in front of the world. And the strange thing is that when the mood is close to the castle, it appears and the door opens without any problems, and they start attacking all those in the place and get rid of them with ease. But suddenly the dog appears Crabo and attacks on Angela. But it is estimated that it controls it and covers it with the substance of its body and endures. He asks Angela that she is involved in the device that was registered with the message of the people of Superman. Why do you start to invoke the device through a substance that comes out of its body and its hour? And Angela is trying to fix the holidays in the rest of the message, and after a little, it is possible that it is suitable for it, and it is a really complete message with Loser. And then we return to the city and see the men of Loser, and they have a box with them and there is a small object in it. And to insist, they ask them that they would be in the city to occupy a super money to some extent that it enters the castle of isolation, and takes from it what he wants and returns. And it is actually its hour. He connects before he tramples the dog. It is estimated that he is out, and he begins to attack him with all his strength, but it remains stronger than him in stages. It is also estimated that he is looking for a fire from his trumpet, and it burns every need in front of it. And he looked at the top of Benzel, and he was invoked with a very strong blow, but Bacon be without, Fayed and trying to save people for what is estimated, and suddenly a group of external heroes appears, and their name will be the Justice Squad, and the band consisting of 3 heroes. And they start that they help get rid of the monster that exists, and it is estimated that it makes a collar and controls it on the monster, and it also begins to attack. And the battle is the Superman tries to keep the lives in every way. On all the screens, news about Superman and Ben Schiff that Loser came up in the hall on the Passion, and also spread the message that the people of Superman and his hour were used. The message will be complete, and it is uncomfortable with the Passion. And it is noteworthy that the second part of his family's message is saying that humans are weak and stubborn beings, and that they are appointed here to control humans. He rules the whole land, and its hour Loser is actually estimated that he distorts his image in front of the whole world, and all people will be shocked by what I heard. And indeed they begin to attack him, and her hour entering a super from the air of a building and remains shocked by what happened in Dreamland, and the rest of the team go and ask about the message. Is it really real or not? So Superman tells them that the first part of it is real, and that he is his age. The message is real, and it is impossible that it was Fabrica. And when they ask how to Lusser, he reached the message at her time quickly from before them, and they say, in the direction of the isolation castle. Because he knew that Lapshar reached her, and when he arrives, he will meet the whole place, and one of the robots remains awork and asks about what happened. After that, Superman notes that the dog Credo is not present in the place, so it quickly goes to the headquarters of the company Loser, and asks about the place of Credo, but Loser says that he does not know. He talks about what, and he indicated that he took the dog in its hour Superman Bimchi, and on the second side, we see the world leaders, who are gathered, and they were discussed by the danger of Superman on the planet. If he entered his country to control the people, and that he wanted to stop the war on a Granner for hidden reasons. And after the meeting he returned to his office and opened Sri Bayudiao, Loser through a gate, and when the Loser meets, he will think that he is forged. Indeed, Superman is a criminal, and they must get rid of him in any way. And then we see Superman, who will be at Lewis, who is surprised that he has a because she did not know, and then tell her that the message that was not real, and that he was hearing other than the first part of it, and that he is sure his family is stuck to the planet to control it, and that they are the longest service and protection of its people. and that he originally did not want to rule the land, and it's our to distinguish by saying that it is certified, and in it, and its encouragement, and by saying that he is trying to prove the truth. But he says that he will surrender himself so that he can connect to Crypto and help him because he promised him that he will protect him. And indeed the second day he delivers himself to the soldiers of Loser who took the secret base in Magicians. And they entered from a time gateway that you would like to be a parallel one. And there is a Bischoff, who knows that there is a prison here that he made completely, and that he will also be imprisoned with an object called Rex, who can change his shape for any element, and it's our for Boser. He orders him to turn his hand to the Crypto element to weaken the strength of Superman. He is forced to agree because Loser will be his son's landing, and he is paid by him and Superman Bishop Craybon, who is in the same prison in which he is in it. The news of Brinky's invasion of the state of Generain after one day, but from Superman prison and the Lewis, and it is running behind the Lyssa company, and knows that it is selling weapons to the state of Brovia at a very little price. She remains surprising and intended to know what is the reason. And after that Jimmy Byru meets Eve Habiba Louser, who says about all the information that you know because she is a fan of him, and Jimmy knows from Habiba Loser that he is a Superman. The Lengthen return to the Jobram, who tries to speak with Max, and says that he will be able to save his son if he wants the Circassian element from before him, and escape all of them from here. But Moxie remains. He does not believe him and says that he is invalidated to speak to him, and on the day after him, he will connect Locke with him with a prime minister for the prison, and he will be with them the owner who tried to help Superman before that when he was in the battle with Hummer. And Superman threatens that he will be saved if he does not answer all the questions that he wants, and when he does not want him, he will be saved on a king in front of him, and Nixie and Superman will be very affected by what happened, to the extent that they will be greeted, and if they know that he will return to him again, so that he can interrogate him, and be with him a new victim to be saved if he does not answer his questions. On the other side, we go to the boss that reached the way of justice and requires them that they help her, and that they are met with Superman and leave him out of prison, and try to convince them that he is not a criminal, and that he is here to help them, and that every need he said to him to remain. But he remains not convinced of her words, and the truthful who is said to him, and refuses to help her in desert. And they move in the direction of the military base of Al, SARS, because he remains to know the location of Superman through a segment that determines its location, and when they communicated the soldiers, they warned that it is not close to the place and if he will be saved on it, but he does not care about the speech he is. And the soldiers are actually attacked, and its hour is to do the shield of protection for Yais and begin to save all the soldiers who are in the place with ease and for Yais to remain. It is very impressive with his strength, and then he actually connects to the temporal gate. And Mr. Travick begins to explore the gate, and Lewis warns that she is in a very dangerous place, and that they will not be able. And we return to the Max, who asks Superman if he can actually save his son as he said, and when he says that he will be able to decide that he hides the Creepian, and uses the sun's element, so that he will return to Superman his strength from Tanny. Indeed, it is estimated that he recovers his strength again in the house. He gets out of prison, but suddenly Loser soldiers are gone, and they shouted on him, and Soberman is located in his river, Crypto and Al Talaf. And Maxie is able to save the soldiers and go to save his son and Superman, who would be withdrawn in Black Gibbs. It's our Mr. Travick connects to the prison, and they can come out at the last moment before the gate is completely destroyed, and the body of a Superman will be the whole poison because of the carp tongue. Whoever is exposed to him, and Mr. Travick asks him that he is comfortable, so that he can recover from the poison in it, and asks who has to use it for a security place, and their hand is the vehicle with his own, and preferred he is at the military base. Moxie and his son are walking also from the place, and then to take a super money to his father's house and his adoptive, and there they are assured that he is fine, and we go to Jimmy. Whoever speaks to him and says that she has roamed all the information that he wants to raise it on the Loser, and I actually followed it, but it is surprising when it meets it, it is just pictures of it, and her leg is talking to Lewis and saying to her, and she also sold her pictures that she sold to him, but Louise discovers that she is from the pictures as normal, as Jimmy fact. And it is informed that it is walled all his plans, and it is a way to distinguish every need, and then go to the broker who knows everything that happened, and remains very annoyed by the escape of Superman, and he tries to fix the gate that destroyed it again, and indeed it succeeds that it works for it. He tries to stop it, but he does not appreciate it, and its hour will happen a big rift on the ground in the gate, which will receive a righteousness, and on the second day, it will be seen. Pain is that he improved and looked at righteousness with his father who adopts his people, because he remains on the upset because of the message that is recorded from the family of the indigenous because it is aspiring. Really, and they have been keeping the planets diminishing on the ground so that it controls the world, but his adopted father says that he is a sin in all of this and that the parents are not present so that they control their children. There is also no in their decisions, but they are present to help them that they form decisions themselves and know that he is only the one who is able to control his actions according to what is his sense of his atmosphere, and they know that he is proud of him, and that he is a good person, and his mother's watch is to come and ask him that he comes to see the matter quickly, who will be the war between the state of Bravaya and the state of Jinbur, and we see there is a small child who raises the Superman's flag and bars in his name, and all the people, because it comes to them, and all the people remain in the continuation of what happens, even the Justice Group. And it's Mr. Travik, communicates with Superman and knows that he needs to help him because he is in a great rift on the ground and destroys the world a lot. And we see Louis and Jimmy, who are with their president in the newspaper, and they know that Wazer was agreed with the president of Bravaya that he was attacking Grambor, so that he would play Superman with it, meaning that the whole war was a trick on. They are saved from Superman, and they have all the kidney rackles that Eva sold, so they will be with them with a Dalal that exposes the whole world. And Mr. Travik tries to stop the Fisher, who is on the ground, but he does not know and began to develop very much. And the police begin to work as morals for citizens close to the Fisher. But the Fisher will be extended in a very rapid way in the whole planet and destroys all buildings, and be in a state of very large chaos. There was a building that would fall on a major and a lot of people die. But its watch appears Super Mino and joined it before what falls on the people, and Mr. Travik Baiji and says that the code that will stop the Fisher and stop it again. He is with Loser, and before Superman moves on Loser Benalaki Hamer, who attacks him and Achla, attacking Mr. Travik, and from the intense collision he loses consciousness and appears. Hummer and Aglala attack Superman and Superman, to be superior at the beginning, but Louser is governing Hummer with the focus and he succeeds that he is hitting a lot of Superman, and Agdala also hit him with a strong blow and says, a substance comes out of her body with a mint and a fear in a Superman body, and begins to build on Loser devices. Superman, and that he was near to die, but Superman Peter Lee is above to try to get it out of his body, but I would like to come and command Petroa and see him and preferred. They were poor in it, and they were leaked to the end of what the substance captures all of its body and dies. And indeed it remained acquired on all of his body and was near to die, but he surprised them all when they were evident that it changed the path of his body. And again on the ground at the ground, a fictional speed, and from the lady of the collision, it dies, and it is very annoyed. And we will find that the super tendency is still living and the toxic substance comes out of his body because Angel died and the material did not suffer from it. The object and the apple that is also, and it remains for him to live. This is because he has a second copy of Superman. And they know that Hamar worked from his price from the price of Superman signed from it before this in an old battle. Praise be to him, and he is also annoyed with him, and he knows that he led to a president of Bravaya that he attacked the people of Grambur, and kills the children that there, and indeed at the same time we find tanks began to fear for the and sector. That it will work for all people of Agranar and Lasser people who begins to control the Samar, and the ray of Superman, and preferred to be preferred. On the other hand, an army of Bravaya began to work as an extermination of the people, whitening them. His strength resists and lean. And Superman, he is outperformed by this time. On the other hand, we will meet the child. He raised the Superman from Tanny, as if he is holding the last hope to save his people. It was still a limit from the army. He would train on the child. But we find that he dealt with a wall of protection on it, and we are surprised that the justice team is coming to the war, so that the people will be present, and we will see Max, who was with Superman in prison, and he came with them to make the people out of the people. And the team is saved on all weapons and the Grambur army with ease. And the president is also when he met himself with the defeated. He was trying to escape, but the tree of the one who comes, and his adherence, and his longing for a long distance, and he got rid of him in Superman. And Hammer Bacon kills him in a very difficult way. And Baiji an attack on Hummer and Superman, who will rise from Tanny, and by Kali Credo breaks all the cameras of the insistence, so that he does not know that he controls Samar easily like now. Its watches Superman. It is preferable to strike in Hummer, and it will be very superior to it. And it is noteworthy when he feels that he began to be defeated by the Ravagers division of Superman, but the power of Superman is stronger than them. And it is more powerful, and the ray of his eye and his adherence to all of them with ease. And Hamer, after he did not attack Tanny on Superman, but Superman, he will know that he will be trained again, and between the black casting, and he succeeded that he finally saved him and Mr. Travik Baiji to Superman and go to him. On the vehicle in which he is, and Mr. Travik goes to the device to stop the Fisher. And it will be a very large mosque, and a very large mosque for Superman. And he says that he is a space and does not belong to them, but Superman is in it, and says that he is a human being and he has feelings. And he loves him, scratches him, and is wrong, and that he is not different from humans, and he speaks the dog as Kripo, attacking the Mikeless, and preferring it to preparing it. And at the time, Mr. Travick will succeed that he stops the thing and the world and the Earth can return again to its nature. Louis and Jimmy Benizzer all the plans of insistence and prove to the world that he was cooperating with the head of the state of Bravia to get rid of Superman, and that he was intended to distort his image in front of people, and all dust by giving all the Superman and the police TG, and they are caught on Al Wazer, and they were imprisoned, and the people of Grambor lived by the justice team. And it is preferable to watch his memories of time, and only our film is concluded.
What's it like to never sleep, to carry dreams so vast, so deep, to fight for, though none may keep.
But the poison of borrowed states remains, so if he meant them, it remains a very good need, so that they know the whole world, and only in the other is unique. You work as a subscription, which means, and you do the bell button, the most important thing, so that when the film Fantastic is instant.